Hello, and welcome to What is Crypto? I'm Matt, and this is Crypto. Today I'm going to be talking to you about Casper, ticker signal KAS. We got some pretty crazy things coming up for Casper, so if you're bullish Casper and you want to hear about what's going on with the Casper network, then make sure you stick around, like, comment, subscribe. It helps out the algorithm, helps get more Casper content out there. Also, if you want to join my Discord, it's 100% free to join, so scroll down, click the link, and I'll see you there. Cheers, legends. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Now let's get into it. Alrighty, as always, let's have a bit of a look at Bitcoin. As you know, Bitcoin's super important to follow as the market follows Bitcoin. So yeah, you really need to have your finger on the pulse when it comes to Bitcoin and what that's doing to be able to read the market with any kind of accuracy. Alrighty, so Bitcoin, as you can see, massive bull flag over pretty much most of 2024, huge run up, consolidation, then we broke down, had a descending channel. Since then, however, we have broken out. Now the bulls are back in charge. A couple of key levels that we've reclaimed in 87K and then 90K. So yeah, bulls are definitely back in charge. Bitcoin is looking good. Markets are starting to pump, and yeah, altcoins are starting to heat up. That being said, Bitcoin dominance, we still need to see a breakdown in Bitcoin dominance for altcoins to go absolutely parabolic. So a quick look at Bitcoin dominance. I haven't looked at it in a little while, but in essence, this chart represents the strength of Bitcoin versus the market. When it's going down, that is good for altcoins. That means altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin. When it's going up, that is good for Bitcoin, and that means Bitcoin is outperforming altcoins. So for an altcoin season, and what we have seen every single time previously, is a massive breakdown in Bitcoin dominance, which indicates the start of altcoin season. Massive breakdown in Bitcoin dominance in 2021. We had that in 2017, 2018. And based on the halving cycle, we are due to get that hopefully fairly shortly. Also have a look at the US dollar. So when we look at the US dollar, what we want to see is we want to see a breakdown in the strength of the US dollar. That is good for risk on assets. That means, in essence, people want to do business with America. Everything is cheaper and money is flowing. So it's a little bit more nuanced and complex than that. But as you can see previously, 2018, this was almost the Pico top for Bitcoin, and 2021, this was around the Pico top for Bitcoin as well. So yeah, when the US dollar drops, that is good for risk on assets. So yeah, another thing to keep an eye on. It is good that we have had a breakdown in US dollar strength. We don't, however, need it to continue to break down. However, that would be good for risk on assets. Alrighty, now let's get into why we're here today though, and that is Casper. So Casper, one of my favorite altcoins, and it is one of my favorite altcoins for a reason. Let's have a quick look at the charts and then talk about why. So looking at the charts, you can see we had a massive period of consolidation, November 23 until February 25. Over a year, well over a year, super boring, choppy market, nothing much was happening. Then we did have a little bit of a downward spiral in this falling wedge. However, since around April, early April, we have broken out. Couple of key levels we have just reclaimed, which is great. So really wanted to hold above 7.3 cents, which we have. And then our next key level to hold above was 8.2 cents. Little rejection off our previous range lows. But yeah, so now two key levels that we're watching out for is really that 8.2, 8.3 cents and around that 10.4 cent mark. So what we're watching out for is either a breakout and confirm above, or a retest of this range before continuing on up, or a retest of this, a break below, and then if we do break below and hold below, then the bears will be back in charge. So those are our key levels. Really important to pay attention to what's happening around that low 8 cent mark to around that 10.4 cent mark. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at with Casper at the moment. That being said, it is looking quite bullish on the charts. Momentum is picking up. People are starting to talk about Casper again. And why is that? So the main thing that is going on is the crescendo hard fork, which is scheduled for the 5th of May. So this is going to really take us to mainnet and upgrade to 10 blocks per second. So yeah, 10 blocks per second is crazy quick. If you compare that to Bitcoin, it is roughly 6,000 times faster at block generation. So yeah, Bitcoin making one block every 10 minutes. Casper will be making 10 blocks per every second. So that is go stag compared to the Nakamoto consensus. That is why a lot of people are so damn bullish on Casper, and Casper having that potential use case as a digital peer-to-peer currency that really Satoshi initially intended for Bitcoin. However, Bitcoin's been largely criticized due to its lack of ability to scale at size for that use as a peer-to-peer payment solution. Bitcoin is now seen as that digital gold. The argument for Casper is that we need a digital silver. This is newer tech, and this makes sense to potentially win that race. There are massive people interested in Casper. For example, Grayscale, we are in their assets under consideration as the only new potential digital currency in that list. So yeah, it's not just me being bullish on Casper. There are a lot of people interested in Casper. So this hard fork is super important for Casper, and everything they've done so far has run pretty damn smoothly. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to see them launch it. And yeah, I'm sure it will run smoothly. Anyway, it's just going to be a super quick one today. It was mainly talking about the hard fork on the 5th of May. I'm going to leave a lot more of what I'm looking at till the 5th of May, and I'm going to make a video then when the hard fork is released. So yeah, Casper looking pretty damn bullish on the charts. Only little thing to be careful of is I wouldn't take out a super large long right before it, as these events are sometimes a seller news. So if we are pumping up in towards that event and we do reclaim these levels, I wouldn't be FOMO longing. It wouldn't surprise me if after it is released, there is a little bit of short-term downwards action before the positive effect of that better, newer technology is really noticed by the markets. So yeah, anyway, that's just my 2 cents today. Thank you so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and join my Discord, 100% free to join. So scroll down, click the link, and I'll see you there. Cheers, legends. I appreciate it. I appreciate you. And I'll catch you in the next one.